My name is Tyus. Well, I didn't come from a very religious family. My parents were kind of like holiday Christians. They'd go to church at Christmas and Easter, and that was about it. And when I was in elementary school, they started taking us to church to get us exposed to religion, and that didn't last very long. They stopped going, and then after that, they would just drive us to Sunday school and drop us off. And then that got old after a while, and then they just had us ride our bicycles to church. So by the time I was 12, my brother and sister quit going to church completely, and I was the only one left. And the reason I was going is I was in the Boy Scouts, and I was working on the God and Country Award, which is, they said was a hard award to get because you had to go to church for an entire year, every Sunday. And for a 12-year-old boy, that was kind of tough. And at the end of the year, I was the only one out of 3 or 4 Boy Scouts who actually got the award, which I still actually have the award. And during this period, I also became familiar with the Youth Fellowship Program and got very involved with the Youth Fellowship Program. I was very involved in high school, and then I went off to college and things changed. I was in the science side of the campus, and there wasn't a whole lot of room for religion. It was all about evolution, and nobody talked about religion. And then I took a religion class in college, and it was taught by an atheist, and he said that there was no God, and God was invented by the downtrodden man to help ease his pain or something like that. And I became very conflicted, and I didn't know, and I just wandered away from God. I graduated from college, I got married, I had a kid, and in the early 1990s, I started having some problems. They thought that I was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder from working as a paramedic for so long, and I was depressed, and then I ended up getting divorced, and I was not happy with my life. I was smart aleck, I was cocky. I'd worked with patients for 10 years, and although I helped them, I never showed any compassion to anybody. And I knew that it was time for a change and to get back to the church and get back to the Lord. I went back to working as a paramedic, and I was much different afterwards. I showed compassion, and if the patient was hurting, I was hurting. And I'd never done that before, and I wanted to live a life that I felt that God wanted me to live and be the person that He wanted me to live. And I, tried to set an example to other people. So I started going to church, and that's where I met my present wife, Leanne. My rock, my inspiration, the love of my life. I hope I said everything she wanted me to say about that. Then we moved to North Carolina, and at first we were kind of hesitant to get involved back into the church because we had a bad experience back in Tampa. And since I moved up here 6 years ago, I was working with Bob Hankins, who was a member of the church, and every time there was a function here at Independence Hill, he would invite us. And I like Bob, I don't know why. I'd always say no, and he was persistent. He didn't push it on us, but every time something was going on, he'd always ask us to join him. And so eventually we went ahead and we joined him at one of the events, and we really liked the people here, and we really liked the church. And so the decision to join this church, it was a natural progression. We had been going here for several years now, and we decided this is the place that we wanted to be, and this is the place that we wanted to grow. I am here to be baptized, to show the congregation that I'm serious about dedicating my life to the Lord and Jesus Christ.